Hi, I'm Helen. Welcome to my channel. Today's class will be a class when you've had a hard day at work and you're feeling kind of tight and wound up and you just want to get rid of some of the knots that you've built up in your body throughout the day. We'll start lying on the back. So come down into effectively the Shavasana position. I'll just move my microphone. Just lay down, let everything melt into the floor, shoulders slide down the back, palms face upwards, feet flop out. Everything is relaxed and released. You can close the eyes if that feels good. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale through the mouth. One more of these. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Just start to settle into a regular breathing pattern, whether it feels good for you. Remembering that if you want to feel a bit more exhilarated, then you lengthen the inhale. But if you'd like to feel a bit calmer and more relaxed, then you lengthen the exhale. So do what feels good for you today in your body. And just start to bring your awareness and focus on this breath that you've chosen. Allowing anything that's on your mind to just drift away and replace it with the awareness on the breath. Start to notice the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth, maybe the heels and the calves, the glutes, maybe the sacrum in the lower back, the backs of the hands, the backs of the arms, the shoulder blades, and the back of the head. Just lie here for a moment, enjoying this tranquility that you experience on the mat. One more deep breath here. And then bring the soles of the feet to the mat, one at a time, so your knees are pointing to the ceiling. Bring the right knee into the chest, just interlace the fingers around the shin. And then pull this right knee towards the right armpit. Just getting a little bit of compression in the hip, a little tiny bit of external rotation. And then flex the right foot and place it just above the left knee. So you should have a right angle between the foot and the ankle. This protects the knee. The knee is moving away from the body and this right hip is opening. Now, depending on the openness of your hips, this might be enough of a stretch in this outer right hip. If you'd like to go a bit deeper, you can lift this left foot off the floor and using the strength of this left leg, just bring the right ankle a little bit closer to the body, always being mindful of the knee and observing the sensations that you're probably feeling in this right outer hip. So if you like, you can interlace the fingers around the back of the left thigh or around the shin. I actually just like to sort of hold on to the foot and use my left thigh to sort of push it nearer the body. But just be mindful that we're only just starting the class. You don't have to go into your deepest hip opener here. Just starting to wake up this outer hip. You probably heard me say before, we hold a lot of our emotions in the hip, and if we've had a bit of a hard day where we've been wound up by somebody that we've dealt with, or even a colleague, you can sometimes, it can manifest in this area. And then release, if you've got the left foot off the floor, release it down to the floor and keep in this shape. Just allow the legs to fall over to the left side of the body. So your right foot may come flat to the floor. Arms can come out to cactus. So we're in a little bit of a spinal twist here. If it feels good, you can turn the head to face the right hand. Breathe in here. The right knee points up towards the ceiling and the right foot is flat on the floor. Then inhale, come back to center and release this right foot down. Side B, so take this left leg, flex the left foot, and then hook it over the top of the right thigh, keeping this left foot flexed to protect the knee. Feeling the stretch all in this left outer hip. So the knee is moving away from the body, and the opening, the movement is actually coming from the hip. You can stay here if this feels enough of a stretch for you. If you want to feel a little bit more sensation and it's available to you, you can lift this right foot off the floor using the strength of the thigh to bring this left leg closer to the chest. Again, you may want to interlace the fingers behind the thigh, around the shin. For me, I just like to hold on to my foot here. Always remembering the movement is coming from the hip. We're not talking the knee. Breathe in here. Trying to keep the entire spine flat on the floor. Soften in the area of the hip. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed and the jaw and the mind. You may find that as you breathe here, this foot can come a little bit closer in. But we are still just warming up. And then place the hands out to cactus. Bring this right foot to the floor. And then allow, keeping this shape, allow the body to twist over so the left foot comes to the floor, left knee to the sky, maybe turning the head to look at the left arm. Keeping both shoulders on the floor, melt here. So just getting into the side body here, waking up the spine. Still got a bit of a hip opener going on. And then inhale back to center. Release the left foot. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe rocking gently side to side on the sacrum. And then bring the hands to the knees. We'll do a couple of knee circles in one direction. And then in the other. And then roll up to a seated position. And we'll come into simple cross-legged. And just work a little bit on the spine and the neck. So if this is hard for you to sit cross-legged, remember you can always sit on a block or a bolster. I like to externally rotate my thighs manually, and that helps me sit a little bit more comfortably. Shoulders directly above the hips. Hands come to the knees, just close the eyes for a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So from here, we'll bring the right fingertips to the side of the right hip, extend them out and tent them. Inhale the left arm to the sky. And as you exhale, just tip gently over towards the right. You can bend this hand, making sure that left hip is grounded and the stretch is coming from this left side body. You can look up or look down, whatever feels good for you, or you can even keep the head neutral. Always keeping this left hip grounded, making sure the bend is coming from the back. Then inhale back up, go over to the other side. Inhale the right arm to the sky and extend over, keeping the body on the side plane. Shoulders are relaxed, right hip is grounded, and feeling the length coming from the waist and this lateral bend. And then inhale, come back up. Replace these right fingertips on the floor. Your left hand comes up and just curl it around the right side of the head. With a gentle pressure, start to pull the head over to the left shoulder. The right hand, you can tent the fingers and keep them extended, or you can flex them up. So this just, you may feel a deeper sensation in the neck here with the fingers flexed. Just breathe into what you're feeling. I can feel a lot of tension in my neck. And inhale, come back up. We'll do the other side. So the left fingertips come out, a right hand comes up, curl it around the head and very gently pull over. If it feels good, you can flex these left fingertips. You should feel a slightly deeper sensation all down the side of the neck. Feels so good. We hold so much tension in our necks these days because we're always leaning over devices or over computers. It feels really good to stretch out the neck. Then inhale, come back to center. It's keeping both sit bones grounded. Inhale, the arms up to the sky. And on an exhale, twist round to the left. The right hand comes outside the left knee. Left arm behind like a kickstand. Inhale, lengthen out of the spine. And then exhale, rotate. Breathe here. Lengthen it every time you inhale and rotating every time you exhale. Then your next inhale will bring the arms back up. Over to the other side. Lengthen as you inhale. Rotate as you exhale. You'll probably find that one side that you twist in is a lot more comfortable than the other. Completely normal. And inhale back to center. And bring the palms to the chest. And we'll make our way up to standing to move for a variation of sun salutations. So come to the top of the mat. Really take a look at your feet here. So the big toes are touching and the heels are slightly apart. Knees are stacked over the ankles. Hips are over the knees. This pelvis, if you imagine it's like a bowl of water, it's not tipping forward, it's not tucked under, it's just neutral. So this bowl of water is not going to spill anywhere. Abs are engaged, front ribs are in, shoulders are away from the ears and back and down. The chin is parallel to the floor. The palms face forward. So this is Tadasana, mountain pose. You should feel as strong and stable as a mountain, really grounding into the four corners of the feet. So the big toes, the little toes, and the inner and outer heels. And inhale, arms come up to the sky. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You can look up. Exhale, palms to the chest, folding down from the waist. Hands come down to the shins or to the floor. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist. Exhale, plant the hands. Right foot steps back in a lunge. Right knee comes to the floor. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands. Then bring the left knee back to meet the right. Inhale, chest lifts and belly dips for cow. Exhale, round in the spine. Really grounding the palms into the floor. Bringing the shoulder blades apart for cat. Inhale to neutral. Right leg extends behind. Point the foot, lift. Come over the hands, bend the elbows, chest dips. Inhale, come through to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward, left knee descends, arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands, lift the back knee, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, palms come up to the sky. Exhale, palms to the chest. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms come through the center. Forward fold, down to the floor. Hands can come to the floor or to the shins. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist for a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Left foot steps back. Left knee descends. Arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands. Right knee meets left knee. Tabletop. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Neutral spine. Left leg lifts behind. Point the foot. Lean the weight into the hands. Bend the elbows. Chest dips. Come through cobra. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps up. Right knee descends. Arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands. Right knee lifts. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, palms come up. Exhale, palms to the chest. I'm on my creaky floorboard here, so that's the floor creaky, not my joints. Again, inhale, palms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Really lengthening out the waist. Exhale, descend. Right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. Engage the front ribs. Low lunge, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands come down. Left knee meets right knee. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round into cat. Inhale, right leg lifts. Keeping the pelvis neutral. Arms bend, chest to the floor. Inhale through to a cobra. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps up, left knee descends. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plant the hands, back knee lift, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms come up, palms to the chest. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back, left knee descends. Arms come up. Exhale, plant the hands. Right knee meets left leg, left knee. Inhale, for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale, neutral. Left leg lifts. Bend the arms. Chest to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps up. Right knee comes down. Inhale, arms up. Oops. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, forward fold. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms to the chest. Just close the eyes. Feel the beating of your heart in the center of your chest. Just observe how the whole body's feeling. You should feel pretty alive, and maybe any knots are disappearing. And then open the eyes. We will make our way into downward facing dog. So inhale, palms up, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. So making sure the hands are shoulder width apart, really grounding into the base of the knuckles and the pads of the fingertips, lifting out of the wrists. These triceps are rotated towards the ears. The sit bones are to the sky and the spine is neutral. The heels may be lifted or they may be descending. Just really thinking about lengthening the spine here. From here we'll do a little bit of core work. So on an inhale, you're going to rock forward to plank and hold here for 5 breaths. So grounding into the hands, shoulders above the wrists, legs are active, core's engaged, and breathe here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep holding on. 4, 4. Last breath. 5. Then back to downward facing dog. Bring the knees down. Sit the seat to the heels. So planks are a really good way to build strength in the body, and you may find them difficult, but the more you do them, the obviously stronger you'll get and the easier they become. And then inhale, come back up to hands and knees, downward facing dog. So work on a little bit of hip opening here. Inhale the right leg to the sky and exhale, right foot comes down in between the hands. You're going to plant the left hand and you're going to rotate both feet to the right side of the mat. So you're on the knife edge of both of your feet. This right arm can come back here and sink into this left hip. So this gets into the outer hips here. It can be quite intense. Don't sink into the shoulder, keep it active. Breathe here. And inhale, return to center. Walk this right foot out slightly and bring the left knee down. Hands come down inside this right foot. Have the foot pointing at about 1:30, and then just allow this right knee to come out to the side. So you're on the knife edge of this right foot. And breathe here. So just allowing this hip to open. So you can, if it feels good to you, come down either onto a block or onto the elbows. And just breathe here. So this is quite an intense pose. If you want to stay on your hands, you're welcome to. Over time, the floor may become nearer to you. But just be happy with where you are. I struggled with this pose for years and years. And it doesn't feel that delightful still. And then come back up to the hands if you're on the elbows. And we'll wiggle this foot over for pigeon. So depending on the openness of your hips will dictate where your shin bone is. If you're very open, your shin bone may be parallel to the front of the mat. For me, it's more of a 45-degree angle, but keep the foot flexed to protect this right knee. Walk the left foot back. Inhale, lengthen out the waist. You want the pelvis facing forwards. And inhale, descend down. So we're keeping the pelvis neutral. You can release this back foot down. Just have a look back and make sure it's going straight. It does have a tendency to sickle out and descend here. Just allow the forehead to come to the floor. I like to imagine that the third eye and the forehead is a drain, and I just let go of anything that I'm holding on to. It pours out through the drain and it's gone. Just settle here and breathe. And then plant the hands, tuck the back toes, really engage the core, use the strength to lift the knee up, lift the right leg up to the sky, and then replace it down. Maybe just pedal out these feet, and we'll do that sequence on the second side. So inhale, left leg to the sky, exhale, left foot steps up between the hands. And I'm going to plant this right hand and turn the feet to both face the left side of the mat. So you got my back looking at you at the moment. Keeping both feet flexed. This left arm can come behind. Really grounding into this right hand, activating the shoulder, and maybe descending the hips. This really gets into the outer hips, this one. Breathe here. I don't actually know what this pose is called. I can't even think of it and knowing what to call it. And then inhale back to center. Hands come inside this left foot. Bring this right knee down. And then move the foot so it's facing about 10:30. And then roll onto the knife edge of this foot and allow this hip to just fall out to the side. So you can stay here, lifting out of the waist, chest coming forward, or if it's accessible to you, maybe you come down on the elbows. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. And just breathe here. Very deep hip opener this. Some stuff might be coming up for you as you release and soften in the hip area. And then if you're on your forearms, just come back up to the hands. My dogs are barking at something in the garden. And then we'll move into pigeon on this side. So wiggle this foot across. Keeping the foot flexed to protect the knee. Tuck the back toes under. Hips are facing forward. Lengthen out. And then come down. And just settle in here. So making sure this back foot is straight and not sickling. If you like, you can bring that third eye to the floor. Let go of anything that's on your mind. You know, one of the advantages of practicing yoga is that it just really allows us to be present. And when you're focusing on your breath and on the sensations in the body and the instructions that the teacher's giving you, it doesn't allow you to think about all those other things that you've got on your mind. So it's such a good way to just remain present, unclutter the mind, and focus on yourself. And then very slowly, if you're down, just bring the hands back. Tuck these back toes. Really activate this core. Use it to lift the leg up. Maybe stretch back. Oh, I can hear some clicking going on. Come back to downward facing dog. And from here, we'll move on to the back. So looking forward. You just step up, bring the seat down, and we do a little bit of core activation as we make our way to the floor. So arms come out, feet are flat to the floor, and using the strength of the core, we're gonna go in super slow motion down onto the back. And relax down. So from here, we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Just move this microphone. And interlace the fingers around the feet. So we're in reclined Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Keeping the entire spine on the floor and using the inner thighs to push the knees out. Breathe here. So this is a great one to get into the groin, strengthen the inner thighs, and opening the hips. Keeping the back on the floor like this keeps it with integrity. Often we do this pose seated, we're rounding forward. This really keeps the spine straight. And then gently release. Hug the knees into the chest. And then bring the feet up towards the ceiling as if you're going to stand on it. Reach up, grab the outside, and bring the knees into the armpits for happy baby. If you can't reach the feet, remember, you can always just grab the backs of the thighs here. You're getting the same position, the same sensations, the same stretch. Breathe here. And then slowly bring the knees into the chest. One more little squeeze. And we'll release the feet down and come into Shavasana. Just allow them to flop open. Palms to the sky, shoulders tucked under. Back of the neck long and chin tucked. And slowly just start to release down. So this practice was targeting any knots that you've built up during the day, allowing you to enjoy whatever you've got planned for the rest of your morning or afternoon or evening, depending what shift you did. Just release here and let go. And start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Bring your awareness back into the room. Interlace the fingers over the head and stretch the body as long as you can, as if you're on a rack. Someone's pulling your hands in one way and your feet in the other. Then one knee at a time comes into the chest. And gently roll over onto the right side into fetal position. Rest here for a moment. And when it feels right for you, just push up gently to a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed and the spine is straight. Bring the palms to the chest. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Bring the palms up to the forehead for clarity. Bring the palms to the lips. And then back to the heart. And then slowly open the eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you've got rid of any knots that you might have. If you are interested in some health tips for emergency service workers, if you look under this video, there's a link where you can download a PDF that I created. And thank you again for joining me to Down the Mat, and I hope to see you again soon.